Ladies and gentlemen, we have another science study decode. Hey, as boring as it is for you to listen to these, it is just as boring for me to make. But today is an exception because I have the kickest of assest of connections to make for you. It is about the sickness that must not be named and ozone. What a surprise. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, Kawasaki disease, what is that? It is a disease that affects specific people depending on genetic factors in where the scientists don't know what genetic factors, it's just genetic factors because some people never get affected. The study says that it's a rise in ozone is causing more Kawasaki disease. They've concluded that the ozone is triggering Kawasaki disease. The thing about Kawasaki disease is that it is characterized initially by a lasting fever that will not go away. Just like this mysterious mask illness that we're all experiencing right now. I'm not the only one who's made some resemblances between Kawasaki and the illness that we can't say the name of. Kawasaki disease, it causes inflammation in the blood vessels throughout the body. A lasting fever is the first sign, but it causes all types of symptoms like rashes and a swelling of the tongue, swelling of the throat lymph nodes. It makes you sick over and over, like with gastrointestinal symptoms. It makes you have lasting neurological and heart problems. The thing with Kawasaki disease also is that not only does it only affect people with a genetic predisposition, it affects people, causes the fever, causes people to get sick and stuff, and it says that a percentage of people recover from this, and then there's another percentage of people that just live with it forever. So it kind of sounds like, the illness that we're not supposed to talk about, how they're saying that it has this whole other slew of symptoms, just like Kawasaki disease, with how vague it is, but also how it never just goes away, just keeps coming back over and over. So let's remember that ozone chooses to affect some people and not affect others depending on some X factor of DNA that I have concluded from other studies. We can see the similarities between the mask illness and Kawasaki disease, and as I've shown you in the studies before, that I am not the only one making these connections. Kind of strange to consider that the study was also done in China back in 2017, I think. My eyes fail me. It says most children recover within a few weeks, but a large amount of children never fully recover, and they just keep getting sick over and over again. So it's not like they get the fever, they get sick, and then they're done. They just keep getting the fever over and over, experiencing neurological symptoms and other types of symptoms. Again, the Kawasaki disease is pretty vague, just like this mask illness. I have gone over maps of the ozone amounts in different parts of the world at different times of the year in my flu seasons video, and you can see that it matches with what this study says, which is that Kawasaki disease has a sharp uptick in the countries affected and the kids affected when it is summertime because they assume that it is more ozone, and I have concluded in past videos that it is because of ozone. So then it goes on to say that it could be a virus, which is what is being played on the world right now, or it could be environmental factors in genetically susceptible children. So it's genetically susceptible people tend to get this mask illness and tend to get Kawasaki disease also. And here we have another study I found it's a suspicious ass title. It was only done for 2 weeks, this study. Think they did not want to find anything else out, or they were cut from funding because of what they found. It says that during the lockdown of early 2020 on in mainland China, I think there was also a station in Wuhan, which is pretty interesting, that they found that ozone increased significantly even though the emissions decreased, emissions meaning nitrous oxide and CO2. And this is because ozone, as I have shown before many times, is that ozone is not an air pollutant. It is not an emission from your car. It's just nitrous oxide and CO2 because those things declined when people stopped driving. Total traffic across China decreased 87.7% compared with the same period last year. And because of that, nitrous oxide and CO2, true air pollution, went down. But for some reason, some magical reason, ozone went up, and they don't know why. And we got more confirmation right here that when there's warmer temperatures, it makes more ozone. So it's just a constant rise of ozone making that warm air warmer, and then the warm air making more ozone, and it just keeps on going, and it just keeps on going. And here's another different article about how ozone is rising in that particular area where that study was done, and also where the Kawasaki disease study was done. It was an unexpected rise, and just remember that as the ozone rises, there's going to be more Kawasaki disease, aka mask illness cases. And once again, just showing you, it increased by 145 freaking percent, and that's crazy. So, most articles don't even bother to give a reason to try and explain the ozone increase, but this article did. It said that it was a weakening of chemical titration. I'm just gonna say that it's a chemical reaction because I don't want to further confuse you or just put in unnecessary information. The thing that I'm trying to say is that the amount of chemical titration that was weakened doesn't amount to the increase of 143% of ozone. So even if it was a weakening of chemical titration for this reason, which is reductions of NOx fresh emissions, there would still have to be another reason in addition to be able to equate to the 143% increase. It's like kind of freaking insane. Sorry, I had I had a lot of champagne. It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me, and I'm making 3 videos in one day. Well, my birthday was January 31st, but I didn't even get the chance to celebrate until today, February 5th, 2021. So, drinking champagne, gonna get some In-N-Out. It's gonna be kick-ass, I guess. I'm gonna go to the zoo tomorrow. I'm not really, haven't really wanted to do anything lately. Usually I'm like 1,010% productive, but I am trying to get these science decoding videos out ASAP because it is boring, and I have to at least give you the base of understanding any of this so that my claims don't seem as insanely freaking ridiculous as they seem at first. And so yeah, I just want to do that, give you a good foundation for understanding what the fuck I'm talking about later. I have a lot of videos planned to just talk about my theories about things, not so like scientific and reading blah blah blah. It's just like blah. You know what I mean? Anyway, look at my dog. So cute. She is so freaking cute. So, conclusions that we can make for my video is that Kawasaki disease is super similar to the illness that must not be named in symptoms, the way it goes and comes back, and also how it can kill people immediately, like one off, or it can kill people slowly over time. Kawasaki disease and the illness that must not be named also have very vague symptoms. They're not totally the same, and they are both characterized initially by an insane ass fever. They only affect people based on genetic predisposition. Kawasaki disease also can be exacerbated from ozone increases. This illness that must not be named, it rose to fame in China in 2020. Ozone also rose 145 frickin' percent in China in 2020, even though driving habits went down almost 90%. Air pollution went down, corresponding with the fact that NO2, nitrous oxide, and CO2, carbon dioxide, are true air pollutants. They are the things that come from car emissions. Who's to say that they are or are not pollutants that actually cause illness is for another video. But I'm saying that ozone does not come from car emissions because car emissions went down 90% and ozone rose almost 200%. That's like freaking nuts to me, okay? I thought it rose over 100%, like 110. It rose 145 freaking percent. That's nuts. All right, bye.